Hello, and welcome to Brassy Business Podcast, where we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly with business owners and what they have done to make their businesses shine. I am your host, Haley Ruff, and let's talk business. This week, we're talking with a business that has such an amazing why. The why behind their business is going to give you all the feelers in your heart, and I'm not even kidding. So they are from Gillette, Wyoming. Let me introduce Heather and Mandi with Hems and Gems.
Good morning.
Good morning. So can you guys just take a minute, introduce yourself, and tell us about your business?
Yeah. So really, it came from a need that we had and found in our community. Time and time again, we were trying to find placement for our individuals. You know, they were just trying to find jobs. That's something that they, had a goal to do. And it was just, we were finding it difficult to find them placement in the
So
community.
what individuals are you talking about?
For the last several years, I've done case management for individuals with disabilities.
Okay.
And I am a DD waiver provider. So we work with individuals, and I do a lot of community integration, shopping, doctor's appointments, respite, just companion services. So we spend a lot of time just managing their needs, whatever that is, on an individual basis.
And so when we identify needs and goals that they have in their personal life, one being having a job, it was something that, they were really interested in doing, and it was just becoming a challenge. And so we were like, let's solve this problem ourselves.
I love it.
Yeah.
So what's your business, what's your business name? What does it do? What's your name?
My name is Heather Voigt. We are Hems and Gems, and now we've expanded to H&G Crates. And what was the other question?
So you do thrift and you do crates?
Correct. We started as the thrift store.
Yep. Which is obviously just what every other thrift store is. We take donations and put it out, sell it to the community. The community's been fantastic on giving us donations. And then was it a year and a half ago, we started the crate side. So the crate side is bringing in product from big box stores.
Okay.
And it can be returns, liquidations, shelf pulls, all sorts of items from every place. So you get new, sometimes used, sometimes not working. We found that out the hard way.
Oh no.
So we put those out. Our cycle starts on Friday with a dollar amount, and then it goes down as the product diminishes. And like mostly Friday is like the great, better stuff, right? Higher dollar value. And then work down to dollar day, which is just, random miscellaneous.
So I want to go back to the beginning. You said that you started because you saw the need for your individuals that you're managing and whatnot. So how did this all work? Like, why did you decide to start this type of store?
That's actually a really great question. So for me, I was sitting in a client's home doing the monthly home visit like I always have to do with my individuals. And one of my ladies said, hey, I was in the Spearfish store, and this is what they do. They employ people with disabilities. It's the thrift store. And I just had like this light bulb moment. I was like, oh my goodness, this is it. This is the answer. This is what our community needs. And I was like, you always have that self-doubt, I think, when you're moving into a space of something new. And I sat on it for a long time. It was probably a year and a half, and I tried to ignore it. I was like, no, I can't do this. I don't have time to do this. I don't have the ability personally to do this. But it wouldn't go away. It would not leave my mind and my heart. And so I went to Mandi, and I knew that she also had a passion. And so I thought she would be a great partner. And she's also been in the business space before. So her having the knowledge of owning a business in the past, I knew that she would be a great partner.
Yeah, for me, I was actively working. I was working actively at the point working with DVR and getting them jobs, individuals jobs, and doing job coaching. And I was working with a gentleman here in town who also owns a business, and he wanted me to do a coffee shop. And I was like, the only way I'll do it with you is if we can employ individuals with disabilities, which he was all for. But when you kind of get into the logistics of a coffee shop with individuals with disabilities,
There's some
It's,
liability.
yeah, it's
I would
really
think.
difficult to
Yeah.
think about just their skill level and whether or not they'll be able to do that.
There's a lot of different gene combinations out
Yeah,
there.
you know, and like,
The
and it's
complexity.
just, you know, because every coffee is so different
Yes.
in how to make it. And then making sure that it's made correctly so that you're actually selling a really good product, and not that they can't learn that. It would have just been more difficult.
Yeah.
So I couldn't see how to really make that work. So when Heather brought the thrift store, to me, it was just, that was just easy, right? Like that was something that you can do. I mean, they can dust, they can vacuum, they can hang clothes on hangers and focus on just making sure that everything goes in the right direction. And so that felt a lot easier for me than trying to start a coffee shop.
Right.
There's
You know?
a lot of small tasks that can be done in the
Yeah.
store, you know, based on their level and ability.
Right.
So I think it just made sense.
Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you guys came together with a plan. So what happened next? What did your startup look like? Was it
We just
chaos?
did it.
Or did you just like jump in feet first? Like, we're doing it. Let's go.
I think that's
Really?
basically, we're just like, we're doing this.
She's a little bit more reserved. I'm kind of like, let's just do it. Like,
Mandy
find a
kept
space.
saying, get in the boat and row. I'm like, I'm in the boat, but I don't want to drown. So
I need my life jacket.
yes.
Yeah, no, we really just kind of did it. We looked at a couple different spaces.
Yeah.
And I remember we went to Spearfish and looked at theirs.
Yep. And we like wanted to see and talk to her about the operations.
Yeah.
But we really, at the end of the day, we appreciated that, but we had our own.
Yeah, it was very different
Vision
than what we
for
were
it.
going to do.
Yeah.
So we just rented a space, started taking donations, and a month later we opened.
And here we
So
are.
It was just it.
That was it.
Yeah.
And here we be.
Here we are.
Yeah.
We started finding our individuals, and that was actually pretty easy. You know, there was a lot of them that wanted to be a part of this. So, you know, convincing them to come work for us wasn't really the hard part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you put it out there that you guys needed donations to start this? Or was it as simple as like throw it on Facebook and you were overwhelmed with it?
It was absolutely that easy.
Yep. And we had to we rented another space here
Okay.
to store all of the overflow, which was insane. So
And Mandy's like, do you think we'll get donations? I'm like, girl, that is going to be the least of our problems.
Yeah, I
Like,
believe that.
Yeah,
I
we've
see
always-
people on social media all the time, like, where can I take my stuff? You know, so I knew that part of it was going to be easy.
Yeah.
The rest of it's the hard part.
So do you still have that overflow space here, or is it all in this building now, section, whatever you want to call it?
So we kind of transitioned from that to overflow in my office upstairs.
I forgot about that part.
So we have, and I recently just had them all come and take all that down. So right now, this is the first time, and that just happened last week.
Okay.
So
So you
this
have your
is
office back.
Yeah, this is the first time since we've opened that we haven't had overflow. But I don't know. I mean, it'll happen again.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah. So are you needing overflow? Because
not
I
right
have
now.
a feeling once this airs, you people are going to be like, oh yeah, let's bring all of our stuff there.
Well, you know what we've actually found is our staff that we have right now can work through that stuff so fast. I have brought in the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've brought from my own house a huge amount of stuff. I drop it off in the morning, and by the afternoon I come back and it's out.
Oh, that's
I'm
awesome.
like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah,
These ladies are just phenomenal. They can't handle clutter, so they get it out.
Yeah, they're doing really, really fantastic.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
So what did your first 2 years? You've been in business for almost 3.5 years. So what did your first year or two look like?
It's just the thrift side.
So that was pretty self-contained, right? Like
yeah.
it just kind of managed itself. It just, donations would come in, they'd get them out.
Yeah, it was
everything
pretty self-sufficient.
Everything ran really smoothly for the most part. We didn't have a lot of, when we opened the crate side, though, things got a little bit more.
And the need
dramatic.
from that came really from what we were finding is that, you know, when we have 1 or 2 staff here, support staff, you can have a whole lot of employees working and then customers, it was just too crowded. And so having the additional space and the additional tasks is really what drove that decision.
But then we ended up with several days where we had multiple clients. So we would have, so we still had to we still just barely worked through that.
Yeah.
About blocking off the day and assigning.
They all wanted to be here together,
Yeah.
which we love, right? Like that's what we really are here for, is like the social aspect and, bringing, building social skills. But it became overwhelming.
Okay.
And because they all wanted to be here to, which
is great.
It's great. Yeah. We
love
want them to be able to, have that community of, but at the same time, like we have to spread you out.
So some of our problem comes from, right? Some of them are here as paid employees.
Okay.
And some of them just want to come in and socialize, but we would get this huge group of them.
Yeah.
And they kind of distracted the ones that are supposed to be working.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so you're here to volunteer. So we still need to be productive, and some of them are just here to work. So they're being paid. They have to work,
right?
Because we really do believe in the process of having a job. Yeah. Like they need to come in and fill out an application and go through an interview and be dressed appropriate, and then come in and take their tasks seriously. Be dressed appropriate, and the personal hygiene, like we teach them from start to finish how to manage a job. So it's all about the job.
Yeah, for sure.
Teaching them start to finish how to be employed, because some of them don't know. Some of them it just
it's a brand new thing for them. Yeah.
So they have to learn how to do that and stay on task, because the end goal here is for them to not work here.
Right. To be able to go find a different job within the community.
Yep. Yeah. And not that we don't want them here.
Right.
We love them. We want them to stay as long as they need to stay here. But for them to be here after they've learned the skills is not the objective. Like we want them to go on to higher paying, higher task jobs. So
see, I told everybody you were gonna get the feelers. Oh, I just love it. I have the goosebumps. It makes me so happy. I love it.
What we do is really beautiful. It really is. Like it's tough. It's tough a lot of days, but when you bring back the why and the passion of it, it's a reminder that, okay, this is why we do the hard. This is why we embrace the suck, and we're taking that on. And of course we have a great team to help us, but we're taking that on, and shouldering it for the purpose of our mission. So beautiful. It is. It's hard, but it's beautiful.
So when you guys decided to do crates, how did you go about that? Like, and how did that idea even come up?
She lives in Rapid City, and that's where the first bin concept store that we are aware of came,
in
and
this
she's
area.
Yeah. She's like, Heather, you have to do this. And I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like, I'm up to my eyeballs here, girl. But then I was like, I brought it again to Mandi, and I was like, should we? Like, can we?
We can do anything.
Yes.
That's where Mandi's at. She's like, we can do it. Like, she's the hype girl. She's like, we got this. Even when I doubt, she reminds me that we've got this.
Yeah.
And so, I feel like that was in February, and my mom's like, call this guy. He'll give you, he's willing to talk to you. So we did. We had a couple phone calls with him, and he just talked through like the process, and we opened in September.
So you didn't have the full space to begin with.
Correct.
Okay.
This other space was used to be a thrift store at one point, and so the owner of the building had all of her stuff still in here, so we had to wait for them to move it out, and that took a little bit longer than expected. I think originally we had wanted to open in June.
Yeah, right, like at our 2-year.
Yeah. So that was originally when we wanted to open it, but it just took a little bit longer, which was fine.
Timing, and that's what I'm finding out. Like when you try to force something, really it draws you back into the timing will work when it's supposed to work, and everything will come together the way it's intended to. I truly believe that, and I'm finding that out in this business. Like it's really important just to be patient and work through the process. So we opened in September, and the challenge, came really just a few months after that. I feel like, being when we found out the other crate store was going to open, that was rough.
Yeah.
And of course I made my emergency call. I was like, Mandy, you're not going to believe this. And so, that took us a minute to realize, and this was Mandy again coming in and saying, Heather, we have to go. Oh, it's okay. We have to go back to our why.
Right.
Our why is what sets us apart from any other business. And what we provide to the community is really going to be what helps us be successful. We have to put our head down and we have to run our own race.
Yeah.
It isn't about what they're doing or what anybody else is doing. This is what we're doing and this is why. And that, again, she brings in the logic when I'm a mess, really running our own race and not looking back and not looking around. Like it comes from right here within.
Yeah, for me, it's really about not getting distracted on what everybody else is doing, because then you lose sight of what you're doing, and these individuals cannot afford for us to get distracted.
Right.
So,
yes, you are absolutely right about that. That is, it's a whole bigger picture than just us. It's
not even really about us.
It's absolutely not.
We are never going to get rich doing this. Like we may never make $1, but we love them, right? Like this is why we do this, is because we want them to be successful. And it's important for us it's important for us for them to be successful.
Right.
And we can't do that with I'm going to get rich. I'm going to make whatever. I'm going to go on vacation. Like we're not here to do that. This is about them being successful
and creating a life of purpose and meaning.
Right.
I will tell you, like the very first individual that we hired, he was so reluctant to go get a job anywhere. He knew he wanted to, but the anxiety and the doubt that created because of social, awareness and things like that, he just didn't have the confidence that he would need to go out into the workspace with people he doesn't know and people that don't know how to support him. And so when I brought this idea up, of course, he was still kind of like, oh, but the fact that he had somebody to walk through it with him and, kind of hold his hand and be here for, direction and guidance, that was the only reason he stepped foot into the workforce, in my opinion. I truly believe that there's a few that would still be at home, sitting in their rooms, mom and dad or, whoever supports them have to go out and work and, and they're left, just hanging out, waiting, playing video games or whatever that looks like.
So is he still with you guys?
He is. Yeah. Yep. He is.
That's exciting.
And it's funny because we really haven't had much turnover in that avenue.
No.
Like most of the guys that we hire are here and end up staying.
Okay.
And have been for a while.
Yeah, I didn't know if you had like a graduation ceremony or if you if you have anything in place for that when they are ready to go on to the next job that you guys have been preparing them for.
No. We haven't really had anybody express to us that they're ready or want to. But of course, but
we have the one that now works outside the store, but is still here to volunteer.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, still comes and volunteers for us, and he does a great job. But yeah, most of them this is a process. I think that's probably the one thing that that maybe I underestimated starting this, is that some of them it just takes a long time for them to grasp maybe something that I think is super easy or that you would be, sometimes it just takes a long time. It took us, probably a year to get one individual to acknowledge that when he wants a day off, he has to call and say, can I have this day off? And we're like, so this is what we're working on right now. This is your top priority. When you want a day off, this is how you do it.
Right.
And it took a year probably. And now he'll come to me and say, I'm going to go home to see my mom. Okay, great. Did you call into the store?
I think it's just so important. And what we try to do is meet them where they're at. Yeah. Each of them are at such a different place in their process and their learning ability that Like we're just meeting them, like she said, where they're at. And we can't hold expectations for all of them to be exactly the same because they're not.
Yeah.
They all hold different skills and talents and abilities that we really try to embrace and foster.
Yeah, there's just so many more layers to this than I was expecting. Like I knew this was going to be like a complex system, but oh my goodness.
Yeah, we're not just doing business.
Hey guys, we're going to jump into an ad real quick. There's been so many times where we have been working on a project around the ranch and we just don't have the right supplies to get the project finished. Well, more than once, Sunderman Manufacturing has came in clutch to help us get our project finished. But now, not only do they sell agricultural products, they are now also a tube mill. Sunderman Tube, see what they did there? Sunderman Tube is your go-to steel tube mill in the Northern Plains, where you get 100% American-made steel tube. They have 11 different profiles, amazing customer service, and they can cut your perfect length for the project that you're working on. Give them a call at 605-529-5470 and buy directly from the tube mill. Tell them that Haley with Brassy Business Podcast sent you when you call them at 605-529-5470.
Which makes it's twofold. You know, we're trying to run a successful business that stays afloat, but we're also here to build skills and build these individuals. It's yeah.
There are things like like our manager came to me a couple weeks ago and she was like frustrated with a few things, and I'm like, maybe it just needs to be, we have to give them a lot of like, this is what we expect, right? So before the doors open and they're all down there, say, this is what I expect for the day. Give them a heads up, give them, where a lot of people take that for granted. Like they go into their place of employment and they know what to expect. They know what has to be done, right? Like some of ours don't necessarily understand that concept. So it's like, okay, so we need you to greet the customers without hovering, like be kind, but let's not be clingy. Like I need you to do like this, and this today.
In their heads, sometimes they're just here to have a good time.
Yeah. So something that, I would probably go to a job if I went and it would be like, okay, so this is your job, right? Like, this is what I'm hiring you for. So you go in and you get trained and you know your job every single day. Here we do a lot of redirection.
Okay.
And it's a lot of, like before the doors open, this is what I expect for the day. Remember, we're focused on customer service, but we want you to be friendly and kind and helpful, but not clingy. Let's not try to hold all the babies. But they're great. They all do such a good job. So.
They do.
So is there like one specific organization or whatever that you guys work with to get your employees from? Or how does that work?
No, not really. It's really just from us having a client base in the community, and then other, people that work in our area that send people our way when they've identified that they want a job. And we do what we can to hire everybody that comes our way, but sometimes it just based on, the financial needs or the scheduling needs. Like sometimes it's just not realistic.
And sometimes it's just not, it's just not for them. So.
Yeah. So what's your ratio then of individuals with disabilities versus like your managers and whatnot?
It just depends.
Well, and then
sometimes it's 1-to-1.
So I have one of my staff on my direct care side that's here a lot. She's here with a couple of the clients to just kind of focus on them and also to offer help and relief for our managers, which I think is beneficial. I mean, I think she does quite a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, she's kind of she's a store employee.
Okay.
But she's not paid. Like I pay her through the other side versus her getting paid through the store. But I think it is beneficial to have her here and offer more one-on-one for a couple of them.
Right. So how many people are here like on an average a day?
Are you talking about staff?
Yeah.
It depends on the time block. We usually we're usually the busiest right when we open most days. And so we have our guys that are a little bit more capable. They've been scheduled from like noon to 2 because they can help carry items out to cars.
Okay.
They can, they have a little bit more ability to lift and, do more of the heavy working stuff. So, and then like as the day goes on, then, we sometimes are just have, one or two staff here. It just depends on, the store need versus where they're at. And so that's another thing that's been challenging is like finding out where they are and like what they're capable of. Some of them can only tolerate an hour. We have one guy that, works 7 minutes and he's like, okay, I'm done.
No, he's one that I send down with one of my office staff. And I'm like, okay, if you're going to come into work, you have to commit to an hour. And at like 7 minutes, he's like, I'm done. And I'm like, okay. So then we try to drag it out here a little bit. And then I make him go upstairs and he'll like shred papers or he'll vacuum the office or he'll take out the trash. Whatever.
And then the next time he comes, let's just like try to make it 10 minutes,
Yeah.
And so, some of them can work 4 hours, some can work, 1 or 2. So that's just another way that we meet them where they are and their ability and their ability to tolerate standing and moving and attention to details. And so,
yeah, that's awesome.
So 3 years now, you guys have been in business roughly. Have you guys had to like turn, pivot, adjust, anything like that in that time frame?
Every day.
Every day is a new challenge.
Every day.
So it was about November of last year. So the big box stores figured out what was happening.
Right.
And they changed what they were willing to liquidate and put on our pallets.
Okay.
And so the downturn in the quality, we saw that. And so there's really no predictability in this business at all in the crate side.
Yep.
Okay. Thrift is pretty stable in, we get great donations there. But the product on the crate side is really where we are struggling. We had to figure out ways to work around that. We had to change pricing structure.
We also, I think one of the big things that I wasn't really aware of that was going to happen is we would order in March and we were still getting Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't work.
Yeah. And so
it was
like,
rough.
how long can we sell wrapping paper?
Right.
And make any money. So that's when that first year was really difficult because we were holding a lot of stuff back.
Mm-hmm.
We would get Christmas stuff in until July and we were holding it all back, and we would get pallets and pallets of like old Valentine's candy. Last year was ridiculous. Like we would get huge gaylords of Valentine's candy that we couldn't do anything with. Like, and then so we that's where a lot of our storage came in because we held all that back for the upcoming holiday. So like we would hold it all back if it was still going to be good.
Yeah. So like what changed in what you guys were getting on your trucks and your boxes or whatever from when you started to 5 months ago?
Well, so I remember like she would put together fantastic displays of like cute furniture and throws and nice pillows, and
it was gorgeous.
It was like the stuff we had, like we would have all sorts of cute little displays down there of stuff we got, and now it's like
we got what?
What like we got like stuff to clean your vents in your car.
Yeah, like just the most random stuff. Yeah, the first 3 months we got amazing stuff. And I know our customers have seen it, but they've bared with us. Their support and is the reason that we're still here.
Mm-hmm.
So if they can bear with us and swing with all of the changes, because there's times we can't get trucks. There's, there's a lack of inventory on the distributor side. So, we go weeks without a truck and it's like, okay, just come in and find something, anything you can buy. Mm-hmm. Every dollar matters. Every $5 matter in our world. It really, truly does.
Right.
And I think that, like if you can come in with an open mind and say, I could create something.
Yes. We've done that a lot.
We've got more gold carts than you can shake a stick at, and there's got to be a good purpose for them.
I created a little gold bar with our tequila and our vodka. When we get an influx of thousands of the same item,
raspberry recliner covers. Like,
oh Lord, I don't know. That I don't know. We're stumped.
I'll take a picture of that so they can see what you're talking about before I leave.
Yes.
But it does. It looks adorable. There's like these tiny little carts. They're little, and then there's kisses on them and hearts, and
they were kind of a Valentine's gift idea, you know, so just really creating something from nothing.
Yeah.
And like, and that's what we really want our customers to see. We did at Christmas time, we did a centerpiece or like a decoration challenge. And so they would come into the store, they would get a handful of, you know, crafting things, and what were they going to create from that?
Okay.
And it was so fun to see what they could come, you know, and put together. And it was only probably less than $10.
Yeah.
You know, and that's really where it's at. And where the magic is. It's like, okay, well, this is a really odd item, but how can I put it together with something else to make it into something amazing?
I love it.
So that's really what we try to do when we're like, oh Lord, it's like, how can we create a challenge out of this? How can we get our customers to see that there is something to this, you know? Just spend $1 or $2. Oh, the cheese ball tray.
And it's just this like wood tray that's like super cute, and it's got 2 glass lids on it. And the only thing I look at it, and the only thing I could think is, like, that would be great at Christmas time to put like cheese balls in and then be able to keep them covered. But
and a little stack of crackers
for that.
Otherwise,
like, other than that is just beyond me. I don't actually know what the actual purpose is of that dish, but we've got 1,000 of them. We've been selling them for a year.
Yeah.
So do you get like a whole bunch of one item?
Yes. Sometimes.
Or is it like miscellaneous, like, oh, 2 of these, 1 of these?
It depends.
At some point last year, we got pallets and pallets of bouncy balls.
Oh yeah, that was fun though.
Little bouncy
That
balls?
was crazy. No, like,
they were
like this, and they had a little light in them, so then they bounced.
Character ones, you know.
Right. So at one point,
Mandy
I
made
took
a
them home
bunch
and
of
we turned them into Christmas decorations. I covered them with fabric, and then
like little garland, and they ended up being really cute.
Yeah, we were selling those clear till this year though. Like, you have, that's what I'm saying. Like, come with an open mind and see what you can create out of something here. I mean, the possibilities are limitless if you just come with an open mind and think, oh, I can create something out of this. You know, I know people are super clever, way more clever than I am. So there's people have got to be able to do this.
See, that's not me. Like the whole I would have never thought of that.
Thinking outside the box is new to me. Like usually I'm like, no, that's what it's for. That's what you're going to use it for. But now I'm pivoting here. I'm learning, you know, I'm like, okay, wait, what are we going to do with this?
Have you ever had that, like, what am I doing? Why did I start this? Is this the right thing? Why, what was I thinking moment?
Oh yeah.
Like there was time we laid on the floor
downstairs. We were like, I don't know what we're doing. And I'm like crying, laying on the floor. And she's like next to me, and our staff is like looking over us like, I don't know what's happening, but this is unsettling.
I mean, they can't see. We're the leaders of this pack. They can't see us crying in the closet, but we definitely were that day because, you know, it's Thursday night and we're like, what are we going to do for Friday morning?
So that was like when your trucks weren't coming?
Yeah. I mean, it probably was. It was last February. So about a year ago, I remember it very distinctly because it was very, very much a pivotal moment in our process. And as the time comes, we're getting better at finding ways to make it work through it, and not handling it in a way that's, you know, and that just shows some growth on our part is like, we're working through this, we're sticking it out, and we're, you know, we've got this. And, you know, so it's not easy, but it was definitely a crying in the closet moment. And now we're like, oh, well, yeah, I mean, that's a sucky situation, but we'll figure it out. Everything's figure outable, right?
Yeah. Well, we have to. We don't really have any choice.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and that's like a part of business that I think is like so important is like, yeah, we can have them crying in the closet, but then we get up and we figure it out.
We put our big girl pants on and we get this done because we don't have a choice.
A failure in this to me just doesn't even seem possible, to be honest. You know, like if we fail, they fail.
Right. And that's not an option.
No.
But sometimes it feels it's heavy, right? Like we've got to work through all the things and the struggles and the days that are hard, you know, and just goes to some serious therapy.
I need a therapist.
I've got a good one I can recommend. It's rough, but we're in this together. We have a great team.
Yeah.
You know, we've come a long way in a short time, and
if you ever need a hug, you should just come here.
I mean, you'll get
right?
1,000 of them.
Yeah, they're gonna hug you. If you look like you're down, they're hugging you. If you look like you're having a great day, they're going to hug you.
Right.
Like, they are fantastic.
Yeah, that's really the reminder, is coming in and seeing their smiles. They're here to pick us up some
for
days.
sure.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
Like, we're here to support them. But you guys, there are some days that they are the ones that give us the support, because they can tell. They can tell when things feel heavy and hard, and
Oh, yeah.
they're our best cheerleaders.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Failure here is just not a thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, and even if like you're having a bad day, to come into a store like this, that's gonna make you feel great.
Yes.
Like, you can just feel it, all the happy vibes that are going on.
That is so true.
Mhm.
That's so true.
Yeah. So let's talk about social media.
Okay.
So it is such a great tool to promote your business, but it can also be a beast sometimes. So how do you guys use social media to spread the word, to get the word out there about H&G crates, Hems and Gems?
I do the social media, and I try to do it on a very consistent basis. Our Hems page has, gotten a little neglected because we really had to push the H&G.
Mhm.
But once they're in here for one,
You go to
the
the
hope is like, we'll just circle around and see
Yeah.
what we can find. But it's just getting it out there, because you guys, you would not believe the number of people that still say, what? There's a crate store here? Like, what? There's like Hems and Gems? What's that? And that just blows my mind. And our location isn't optimal because we don't have a road front store.
Yeah.
Right? We're kind of tucked in. And so people have tried to find us and they can't, or they look for a long time and then they finally find us, or they don't even know we're here. And so that's been a huge challenge.
Mhm.
So we need people that support us.
So then what social media platform do you mainly utilize?
Well, so Facebook, because
Okay.
that's the one I'm most comfortable with. And I've been telling myself for years, like, Heather, also remember to do Instagram. Remember, we've talked about doing TikTok and creating like really fun, cute videos with our people. But you know what? It's all about time. Like, we are both so busy in our other jobs that we try to meet all of the needs, and it's just overwhelming. And so sometimes it's just getting a little bit out to, maximize.
And I am no help. I am no help when it comes to social media. I am not.
She's not as comfortable with it.
I'm not a huge fan. I don't like. She used to make me do Facebook Lives when we first opened, and you should go back and look at a few of them. They were tragic.
Mandy's
Like, I'm
still
like-
there, like
Like, I am not doing this. Like, I'm like, I will do it because I love you.
she saw that.
I
She looked like she saw a ghost.
I'm just not. I'm not good.
It's just not your area.
No.
Well, and that's the part of business and having a partner is, finding each other's talents and skills and playing off of those. And you guys kind of find your lanes and what you're good at and what you enjoy, and really embracing that area. So social media, yes, it's been a big deal, but I feel like we could take it up a step.
Yeah.
too.
I said to her a couple weeks ago, I'm like, I'm really grateful that you don't get upset with me when I don't share, because I don't even really do that. Like, I appreciate everybody that does that for the business. I'm terrible. Like, I'm so glad you aren't mad at me.
Yes.
That I am not better about. Occasionally I will, like once a 6 months or something.
Yeah.
I am terrible.
It's okay. Like, it all works out. And I think, just having the support of our friends and loved ones, my husband has really embraced all the things that go along with this business. Like, it takes time away from our family. He comes, and we all have, kids that will come help. My husband helps. Like, the support that we have and the love that we have is just huge. Backing is really important.
Yeah, for sure. So this morning when I was getting ready, I had the aha moment that I should ask our followers, because I'm very much on social media, what kind of questions they have for you. So I have a question, and I have somebody else that had a question on Facebook that kind of ties in with it. So you get donations, right? Somebody has to go through those donations. What have you got in your donations that has just been like, why would somebody put this in a box and send it to me?
Well, so that's a great and fun question, actually. And I don't know how inappropriate we can get.
Oh, you can say whatever you want.
Oh, okay, cool.
You go for it.
I love the permission here. We got a whip. And I don't know if it was used for animals or people, And then my manager sold it. Our manager sold it. And I was like, what are you doing with my whip?
This is the thing, like we get all sorts of, so the crate side,
yes, on
when
the
we
crate
opened the
side.
crate side, like our very first shipment, we got Amazon boxes, and these Amazon boxes had grinders, like pot grinders, marijuana grinders, right? And pipes and little things that I would assume, like my drug experience is limited, that you would put like cocaine in, and it has the little spoon.
I didn't know about
cocaine. So we've got like this tote in the back room that says
The
inappropriate items. Can like some of that stuff comes in, and probably a different thrift store or crate store probably wouldn't even bat an eye at it, but we're kind of like, can we sell it?
Right.
You know, because they're
We've got a few.
impressionable. Like, we
for sure.
cannot sell. This is a G-rated store, or it should be.
We've gotten a few penis-shaped items.
Like bachelorette party stuff.
Yeah,
Well,
I can
No,
only-
not one of them. One of them is absolutely not. Well, it's a pipe. A bong is maybe.
Oh man, this podcast is off the. It just took a turn.
We'll have to click the explicit button.
Yeah.
So that's okay. That's what it's there for.
Yeah, and so there's one day some lady came in. She's a shopper. She's a frequent shopper, and I'm like, this is a penis plate moment. This lady needs this, and she loved it. She bought it, and she was as happy as a clam. She was like, yes.
We had the other thing that just always kind of cracks me up is we had gotten, and we probably still have some laying around, coloring books, right? And so we got them and we just threw them because we didn't really take the time to look at them. Well, we had opened and I was thumbing through one of them and I'm like, I don't think we can sell these. They were, they had taken the Disney princesses and turned them into pot smokers through this whole coloring book. And I was like, we can't sell these. So we started pulling them out, but we missed a couple. So then we had a shopper come in and she was like, is this intended to be here? And I was like, no.
No.
Like you can buy it if you want, but we tried to pull the rest. But so we had a stack of Disney princesses smoking pot in the back.
You just never know what you're going to get in.
Yeah. And it's, you know, Amazon, you can get anything off Amazon. So when we order Amazon pallets, sometimes things get a little racy.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Spicy, but it makes it fun.
So one of the questions that we had was, what systems do you have in place for like fresh items?
To like freshen up
Yep.
the store.
Yeah.
So typically on the crate side, Friday should be fresh. Like everything should be ideally.
So explain
say-
how that works.
We say should loosely because there are some days that we don't know what we're going to do. But for the most 75% of the time.
So sometimes, you know, items that go out this Friday will be similar or the same that go out. But there should be new items every Friday.
So
ideally.
Friday is like when you refresh the
Yeah.
crate stuff. So
Correct.
Friday mornings is when all of the new stuff goes out.
Yep.
And
And
that's
then-
$8 day.
And then it goes down $1 every day after Friday within reason, because there's certain items that are priced higher based on what they are, correct?
Retail. Yeah.
Mhm.
And we've actually recently lowered our retail or highered it. I'm sorry. In what we're going to put in our bins.
Okay.
So, you know, there's always pivoting, trying new things to help, you know, sales to be successful and try to figure out what the people are looking for and, you know, what they want out of a shopping experience.
So then how do you keep the thrift side looking fresh and snazzy?
You know what? And I will say our focus had to go into where our money was,
Mhm.
you know, because that's where our investment is. But Mandy, a couple months ago, she's like, I can't handle the way this looks. It just needs some on the thrift side.
Mhm.
And she was just like, it has to. And so we really shook stuff up down there and like cleared it out, made it more presentable, in my opinion. I think it looks fantastic. But
The clutter is overwhelming to me. And not that it's cluttered stuff,
Uh-huh.
right? It's just there's so much of it. We get so many donations and so much stuff goes out. It just overwhelms me. Friday mornings at the crate store overwhelm me. I'm like, I am your trash girl. Like, I will take the trash. I will keep that stuff going, right? I just I don't know. It's just
even
so
when we
much.
were opening, you struggled with that.
Yeah, when we
Like,
were opening the thrift store and that
we had
space in
bags
there
and bags of
was piles of bags, like from front to back. And I'm like, I can't even be in here. Like, make a pile of stuff that's got to go to storage or stuff that is just ripped and trash.
Mhm.
And I will take care of that.
Right.
We trash a lot of stuff depending on, if it's sellable.
There was a couple here in town did a shoe.
Oh yeah.
So we donated a ton. It
was an adoption.
Yeah, and they donated, or what was it?
Shoes.
It was shoes, but it was like 25,000 pairs of shoes. Or
Oh
something
my goodness.
That they were trying to collect. Yeah.
And so we donated a lot of shoes to them.
We donated. We got obviously a surplus of face masks, after COVID.
Oh yeah.
And so we donated them because was it the homeless shelter? The homeless shelter, you still had to wear them for a period of time after everybody else wasn't wearing them.
Okay.
And so we donated a ton of masks there, just finding the need, I guess, in the community,
That's awesome. I love that you don't just go to one place, that you guys look and be
we
like,
try.
oh.
Yeah.
We really try to think about who could this be useful for.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love it. I love it.
One of our gals has thrift experience, and so we don't say too much and direct her too much on that. She takes that role on and does it well. And there's been a lot of changes based on our managers, like over the time, on it's subjective, right? Like, what is this item worth?
Right.
We got feedback a while ago that it should be about 75% off of retail.
Yeah.
And maybe a little bit more, a little bit less, but that's a good rule of thumb is, take about 75% off of retail on a thrift store side.
Okay. That's good.
So, depending if it's still got tags, depending on the condition, it might go up or down.
Yeah, there are things that weigh into that.
Yeah, for sure.
So
we try to keep prices low, and we try to do sales a lot. We want to bring in customers and meet a need of the community, right? Like with inflation, we try on our end to keep things as low and as affordable as possible. A, because we want to bring in customers, but B, just to provide that service to the community.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I don't know exactly what industry we would call this, but what do you think is the biggest struggle your industry is facing as a whole right now?
Well, I think we covered it as far as
costs. Even just for us to get, our shipping costs have gotten a lot higher.
Well, and I think the pallets per price have gone up too. So our prices are increasing, that we purchase.
Well, the quality of the pallets has gone down substantially.
But the
price has gone up, and then we're paying more for shipping also. So
and we've only decreased our prices as time's gone
Yeah.
on. So there's really that inverse that, on our end, it has been a struggle. And so that's why we really, rely on our customers wholeheartedly and appreciate them as please tell your friends and family about us.
Right.
Please come in, find something, but probably the lack of product at times that we haven't been able to order because of, the lack of product from our distributor. Weather has played into that. A truck can't make it here if the weather's bad.
And sometimes trucking is just hard getting here because there's nothing leaving Gillette either. So a lot of these guys will drop off in a city, or
they're like,
they're like they can go someplace else and pick up, and they're not deadheading. A lot of times they'll come to Gillette, drop off our product, and then they have to go to Cheyenne or someplace to pick up something else to haul.
Right.
Which also makes it hard for us to get things.
Just our location in general.
Yep.
It's all these challenges, and I think skipping ahead a little bit, talking about what we wish we knew going in. Sometimes you jump in because you're so passionate that you forget to really think about all the challenges that might come, or you don't realize them until you're in the middle of it.
Yeah, that's
me too.
It's like, what's happening?
I'm still not sure.
I'm definitely let's jump feet first, and then I'll figure the rest out as I go.
That's exactly us.
Yeah. So I get it.
I love it though. I don't know that I would want to do it any other way, because I think if you spend so much time thinking about what could go wrong,
it could hold you back.
Then you really do. And we wouldn't be here doing what we do. For the people that we do it.
Yeah, I love that. Well, you guys kind of jumped ahead, because I was gonna ask.
I didn't mean to do
You've
that.
been in business for 3 years. If you could go back and give yourself some advice when you first started, what would you say?
What Mandi just said it. She wouldn't have done it any other way, right?
No. I love it. I love them.
What would I do? I don't.
Maybe just be
a little bit more prepared. I think I would have like,
toughen up. I think I would just be like, just toughen up, like just do it, right? Like you can't focus on it.
Mhm.
You know, we've, you know, like some people have been kind of rude, you know, like, I mean, like Facebook's hard, right? Like sometimes we get some people that are kind of crusty,
Mhm.
right? Sometimes when they get a product that doesn't work, I kind of take it personal, like they're kind of come across like we like did that intentionally,
Right.
you know, like, and that's never the case, you know. Probably anything, it's just from a lack of time on our part. Like we're putting all this stuff out and we've got
thousands
our
of
participants
items.
here, you know, and so we're trying to direct them and do this and, you know, like try to open on time and have it cleaned and presentable and all the things so that people in the community can come and have a good shopping experience. They're retail for a higher price, so we sell them for a little bit higher price here than bin price, and then sometimes they don't work and it's like, you're screwing us over. No, that's never the intention. You know, like that was not ever, you know, it was just we took it as that it worked, you know.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes I think I forget that people return things because they don't work. And those are the things that we buy on pallets. Not all of them are returns, but sometimes we do buy return pallets.
So when I was asking for questions to ask you guys, I had somebody that commented something really, really, really sweet. So I want to read it.
Oh.
So she said, "Oh, this is so hems and gems. Their business is so neat and they employ individuals with ABLE." But
With ability,
Yeah.
probably is where she's going with that. And that's our store slogan is abled, not labeled.
Mm,
You know, foster what they are capable of and not look at the deficit.
yeah, for sure.
So,
well, we all have deficits.
well, absolutely.
Exactly.
Some of them are just more apparent than
Uh-huh.
others,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So it's
Definitely.
important to love them where they're at.
Oh, exactly. For sure. Completely. Okay. Was there anything else that you guys would like to chat about today?
You know, not that I can think of. We are doing March is Disability Awareness Month.
Oh, we're not done yet.
Oh.
Go talk.
Oh.
I'm interested. Let's hear about it. What do you got planned?
We are doing. Was I not supposed to talk about
No,
this?
absolutely.
Oh,
Like
okay.
I just like it's so close.
It's
It
so
is.
close, like right around the corner.
Like we're recording on the 27th, and this is coming out
Yeah.
on
Next week.
on Monday.
Oh, Monday.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
it's
will come
coming
out
out
Monday.
Oh,
Yep, this will be a quick turnaround one.
We are going to do a dash for disability as a way to raise funds for our store
Okay.
to help, you know, kind of minimize our payroll costs for a minute. Maybe
Yeah, we
maybe be able to employ more
a few
people.
more people. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, just and to spread awareness.
Okay, so what's the Dash for Disability? What is it?
We're going to have a 5K.
Ooh,
Yeah.
With t-shirts, right?
All the things. Yeah.
All the things. So we better get our poop in a group here.
Yeah.
Because we've got 3 weeks, girl.
I'm a little blown away because like we haven't
Done and
we haven't really
We
made
will.
a lot of progress. Like we're best
will.
under pressure.
best under. That's right. Like a diamond. Wait, right? Isn't it?
yes, diamond under pressure.
Yeah.
Coal under pressure.
Yes.
Just diamond.
Yes, that's us. We're the diamonds in the rough. The
Yeah.
gems.
The gems.
The gems. So yes, the Dash for Disability. And I think, you know, so not only did our individuals need the social awareness, but I feel like our community as a whole of Gillette, our country, our world needs more awareness to our people,
Yes.
right? Like I think that they are so expected to acclimate into what you would call a normal, right? We have to meet them where they're at. Why can't we accommodate and acclimate to them a little bit more? Bring awareness, what their lives look like, you know, I think it's so important. And so that's really what our goal is just to bring about awareness to the struggles that they face, the beauty that is what we do.
Mm-hmm. It is beautiful what you guys do. Are you going to have anything special going on in store to go in conjunction with that?
That's a great question. We hadn't really discussed that. We'll definitely have to get
Yes.
Yes, you are. What
Yes,
it
you
is
will.
a surprise.
our date is March 16th.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you are only a couple weeks away.
Yeah.
Where's it located?
I
Are you
think
starting
we're
at?
going to start right here.
Oh, that would be a great
Right?
way to
You know,
draw
we've
awareness to the store.
We've got our corridor that, you know,
Mhm.
people can come in and register. We'll get started. You know, we'll just walk together as a whole, create a community of people who are more aware of our guys.
So it's not so much a race. It's more of just
Correct.
like
Let's
let's
get
go
together.
walk together.
Let's get
Together.
together and build something beautiful.
Yeah. If you want to run,
You can.
yeah,
Absolutely.
run it.
So we got that event coming up. It'll bring awareness to our people, awareness to our store, hopefully raise some funds.
Yep. Help with payroll for these guys.
Yeah. And we have been approached to hire a few more people and we haven't been able to. So maybe this will bring about that ability. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh, that's like the perfect way to end that.
End it.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yes.
So thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today. It was an amazing conversation.
Thank you so much.
It was enlightening and it hit the feelers. Like you cannot leave this place without your heart feeling full and happy. Like you have built an amazing community. You have an amazing mission. You guys are onto something beautiful.
Thank you.
You truly
We
are.
try really hard.
So can you just take a minute and tell everybody where they can find you on social, where they can find you physically, where the store is at?
Yeah. So social, Facebook primarily. We do have an Instagram page, but not much goes out on it. We are at 201 West Lakeway Road, Suite 500A and B, South Entrance, and we are straight across the street from H&R Block.
You are
in the Lakeway Professional Building. I don't know how much more specific we can be, but come find us. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you guys again for taking your time.
No, we appreciate you. Thank you.
It's been good. So, wow. That was a good interview. Like I said, all the feelers happened in this one today. If you have been eyeing my outfit, I'm going to give a small business a shout out. So this came from Jewels of the West. They are out of Hettinger, North Dakota. Look them up. Super, super nice people. That is all that I have for today's episode. And thank you for joining me. If you would like to watch the video version of this, you can find it by searching Brassy Business Podcast on YouTube, or the link is down below in the show notes. Make sure to follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and look us up on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok so we can stay in touch. Have a great day, and I'll see you next week.
Bye.
Brassy Business Podcast is a Black Cows production.